Hello. Welcome to CLSB Politics. Sean Briscoe speaking. Uh, I'm doing kind of another version of a video I did earlier on my channel about why you shouldn't vote independent, why voting Democratic is the most important thing you can do. The math is actually pretty simple, but I think the way I've worked it out on the slides will help people understand a little bit better. So let's get to it. Okay, we're gonna start out real simple, right? Everyone gets one vote. We'll just say there's three individuals, one's voting Republican, one's voting independent, and one's voting Democrat, right? And that's a good that. So I want to keep it simple so that it doesn't get all confusing. Because listen, I deal with a million voters; it can get real confusing real quick. But this is a really nice, easy way to look at it. Okay, so this is our baseline, correct? Okay, so what happens if a Democrat votes independent, right? Because that's what everyone's talking about on my channel. Well, nothing good. So the Democrats lose a vote. So we got to go find a vote. That's -1, right? The Republicans don't have to find a vote. And they know that we were counting on that vote, right? So they get a +2. They haven't done anything. So with zero work, zero money, zero input, zero everything, automatically the Republicans come out +2. And of course, the independents picked up a vote they weren't counting on, and they end up +2. So that's what happens when Democrats vote uh, independent. What happens when a Republican votes Democrat? This is where the math gets really interesting. So remember, it's 1-1-1 straight across, right? Well, we know we have this one vote. All right. We're not counting on that Republican vote. So that Republican vote comes over and it gives us that second vote, which is great. But also, the Republican has to go find another vote plus the vote that they lost. So they get a -2. So when a Republican votes Democrat, that's where you see these really crazy waves, and vice versa. If Democrats vote Republican, that's why you saw all those Reagan Democrats. Well, that's why it was just so blistering what happened across the country when Reagan first ran. He won all those states, and they're like, "How you win all those states?" Because Democrats voted Republican, and it's a huge math changer. So these Republicans that are disenfranchised with the Republican Party, they come over and they vote Democrat, you're going to see a huge change in the math. What happens when an independent votes Democrat? So this is what happened in 2022, right? So yes, the independent voter loses a vote, but they weren't going to win anyway. So what happens is, since it's not a vote we were counting on, but we got it, we're +2, and now the Republicans have to go find another vote. So they're at -1. So this is what happened in 2022. This is why there was no red wave. All right. So independents voted 4-1 for Democrats because Trump basically told them that all he needed to do was win his primary, and then he would cheat and take the general election, and then no one has to worry about voting anymore. Well, since independents don't vote in primaries, right? Uh, they got a little upset about that, understandably. So what was the polling in 2022 telling us? Well, the polling was telling us that that you know we were that the Republicans were slightly favored in the Senate, and the Republicans were favored to win the House. Well, so it's 59% chance the Republicans are going to win the Senate, and 84% chance the Republicans are going to win the House. Well, they ended up only winning the House by a few seats. They were expecting 22, 23 seats, and they ended up winning like by 4 or 5. So that was a huge thing. And then they lost the Senate, right? It was a 50-50 split, but the VP gets to do the tiebreaker. So they lost the Senate. They had a 6 and 10 chance, really, to win the Senate, and they didn't do it. And it's because, one, independents do not poll. They start polling like October, maybe, if you talk real nice to them. But other than that, they don't poll. So they really had no idea what was going to happen to them. And because it's the midterms, it's a much smaller universe of voters. It's like half the size of a presidential general. So that made the independent vote switch that much more prominent. It was also the first time in modern political history that the party that won the White House gained seats in Congress. There was no red wave, not even a ripple. These are facts. So I've got a great quote to close out this video. Democracy is the only system that persists in the asking the powers that be whether they are the powers that ought to be. Sidney Harris. So just want to say thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, share to your friends. If you have friends that are Democrats that are thinking about voting independent, please just share this video. If you have friends that are Republicans that are thinking about voting Democrat but don't know if it really will make a difference, show them this math. They're the most powerful vote in our country right now, are the disenfranchised Republicans. I mean, even if the Republican goes and votes independent, that actually helps us, right? So if you wish to support this channel, you can, the channel's got a PayPal now, CLSB Politics. Feel free. All donations allow us to keep doing these kind of videos and keep moving forward. Well, I just want to say, everyone have a good day, and we'll talk later.